Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to get started on the Mezco 112 Collective Rumble Society Krig 13, the Black Spartan. Let's get started, guys. So guys, we're going to talk about Krig right now. I really like this guy. I think the first chance we had at seeing Krig was seeing the Blood Force edition over with Asia Gold, and here we have this guy, the Black Spartan. Krig 13, the reason why he's 13 is because he's the 13th one created. All the other versions are simply known as Krig. No numbers, no designations. So Blood Force is probably more of a standoff different type of Krig. Whereas this guy is like 13th. He's the special one. He's the super cop, right? So when you do things like you think of those crazy big Warhammer guys, or like your Judge Dreads, these are your guys who go in like one-man armies and tear things up. Whether that's retrieval or going to like do a mission. These guys are that. This is your version of them. Krig actually looks really nice. I like the way this guy looks. I like the way he functions. It's fun. I mean, I like new and different inventive things, and this definitely fits my creative feel. Starting with the helmet. The helmet is called the SM9. So this the SM9 integrated unit. Sorry. And what's cool about this is you still get your standard articulation of left and right. You can technically look up because it's a helmet covering over another head, and no looking down, so that's one thing you won't get. But what's really cool about it is there's another head under. This is just a helmet unit, so you just basically slide across these tabs. And I'm not going to dwell on this too long because I want to definitely come back and revisit it for a very good reason. I do like that the helmet does slip right on if you just leave it on the backhand side. So as we have this here, we can actually just remove it from the back. But you see the unmasked head is there. Looks really good. Fits on just fine like a glove. And the integrated unit, I like the design on the inside of this. Let's see if we can get some light in here. And focus on that. There we go. So there's a lot of detail in there. Same thing for this side. This is going to be a heads-up display design. There is actually a lot of design in there. Now we're going to talk about our body. Let's rotate backwards. Get our focus back up. So I really like this Krig design. Here we have the chest rig. This has a light up function by sliding up the back. I already put the batteries in. So by sliding up the backhand side and flipping our switch on, you'll see the lights actually start right here. Very powerful in the back. They shine through. And then we have our front with our chest rig. I really like the light up feature. More importantly, we also get a light up in the eye. And that's actually pretty cool as well. So if I turn out my lights, you probably see it a little better. There we go. I really like that cybernetic eye glowing. And then even if we turn the head left or right, it still lights up. So I like that that was actually taken into it. You get the brightest looking ahead, but you still get it left and right. So as far as our look here so far, I really like so far where we're going. It's one of those things where that cool and refreshing look is really dope. If we get a little closer look, you will see we have a black and white highlights on the hair. We have the cybernetic eye with the scar over it. And articulation wise for our neck and head, if we pop this off, you'll see the light beaming under, just like you did with any of the light up features from Mezco. Popping it back on. Let's turn the lights out for a second, and now let's jump into talking about our articulation. Articulation wise, we can actually move the shoulder pads out. This is pretty nice. This will give you room to articulate your arm all the way up. Hit these important T poses that you'll want to get, because even with the armor, he can actually lift his arms up, which is very important. The flaps actually come up a little, and they rotate a little. We are double jointed. We do have armor swivel here, and we are double jointed, so we can actually get into decent poses. We actually have a really good ab crunch, which I've been doing this whole time. So that means if you get a vehicle for him, sitting and crouching should not be an issue, which is actually pretty important for me when you want to get into certain stances. We can actually tilt side to side as well, which is very nice. And we can get to really crouching over poses and slouching. Well, not slouching. There's also a rotating here. That's a bicep swivel. So even with all this armor, Krig can actually move pretty good. Our legs can rotate all the way up. As you've seen previously, there is a boot swivel, very little, but not a lot. We are double jointed at the knees. And we have ankle pivot. Very nice ankle pivot too. It actually slides really far over and inward as well. So let's see about this crouching stance. Let me just swap legs. And getting down on one knee technically is not an issue for Krig, which I like the idea of that. Despite being heavily armored, he can move pretty well. So yeah, this is going to be nice for you guys who want to set up a certain way or get into certain poses. You shouldn't have too much of an issue with Krig getting down and dirty in a fight. The belt moves around just a little bit, so that way you don't have to worry about manipulating that waist armor. The waist belt, the belt to armor ratio sometimes, because sometimes they'll get in the way of each other. But that's key. That's not the case here. Let's pop this back on, because we're going to talk about this in a second. So now that we're talking about our articulation and things like that, as you can see here, you can get very nice movement with Krig, and that is so enjoyable. Now, oh, by the way, wrist pegs have the standard rig pegs. No real issues there whatsoever. Now that I've got him in a fighting stance, giving him a fighting chance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a second to talk about our accessories. So let's get to it. Hey guys, we're back at it now, and we're going to talk about the accessories. Jumping into it, let's first talk about the hand accessories. Here we'll get two item holding hands. Let's change our focus. Gotta do this all manually because I'm trying a new method. And in our new hands for here, these will hold several different items, and we'll get back to that in a second. But as you can see, they have a mix of semi-gloss and matte. That nice color separation between the two different blacks give you a nice bit of reasoning to see what's going on. I do like the semi-gloss on all black because when you drop something, you'll be able to easily find it. You'll get one open palm action hand. This is going to be your cool running hand, your action open hand. This will get a lot of variance out of you. You'll get a left trigger hand. Trigger hands are important, especially when you want to hold certain types of items. Again, that semi-gloss and matte mix give you a nice bit of black color separation. In this hand is more like an open, semi-open, semi-holding hand. This one can actually hold items as well, but it looks better as an action hand. With that being said, we also get this weapon here. This is the MF-112 Proton Cannon. This is going to be your main weapon of choice here. It looks really good. It actually has one of these, I forgot it's called a buttstock, but this can be extended or retracted. And as you can see here, I'm going to show you this hand. I wanted to make sure I mention this because with this hand, you technically can hold your item. But again, it all depends on how you want to go about it. This can be more of your relaxed holding item hand, kind of like with the military where they hold their hand out like this on their weapon, almost always ready. This is the designated hand for it with your left hand. Let's extend that stock. As you can see, it fits right in. You'll also get a blaster effect, which is a brand new effect here. The new blaster effect is really nice. Fits right on. Next up, we're going to go with our sidearm. Sidearm also fits the new blaster effect as well as old ones. It has the port piece here. The chamber actually slides back as well too. And it has removable magazines. Now, let me switch this side around so you can see the magazine color actually is blue as well here. And you'll even get extra magazines. So, in case you ever lose one, you'll have more to take out your enemies with. Next up, I'm going to keep these in a tray because I don't want to lose these small parts. But you will get 2 communication devices, 1 and 2 right here. Then you'll get 4 different type of concussive grenades. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one is a different shape, kind of like with Dread. Each one is for a different situation. So each grenade will call for a new and different thing. So keep that in mind. Then we're going to go with, I like this one a lot. This is called the Cyber Scythe. The Cyber Scythe is really dope. One of my favorite weapons. The Cyber Scythe can be held with the item holding hands. So you can hold it either forward or backwards, depending on how you want to go about it. So here's the forward way with the hand. You can actually just turn it around. Hold it backwards as well too. So I like the semi-translucent part here as well too. So shining a certain bit of light through that is going to be really nice. But the really cool thing about the Scythe effect, Scythe, is that you actually get a cool effect. You slide it right in, and then you have this nice and cool effect here. This effect is really dope. This will definitely get your sci-fi groove going for those of you that like that kind of stuff. I'm one of them. Next up, we have our boot knife and sheath. Sometimes you have to bring back the classic stuff. You can never go wrong with a small knife to prep yourself for what you need to do. And that can actually be stored here on the bottom right hand side. For the sidearm, there is a storage holster on our left hand side. So as you can see here, slide that in. It's tight, but it does fit perfectly fine. Krig can be all battered up and chained up, but always ready for combat. That's the way he's always going to look here. Let's fix that. There we go. Next up, we have the Megawatt thermal taser. The Megawatt thermal taser is actually really nice. This is going to be your secondary handheld weapon. I'm guessing this is going to be for when you want to take down an enemy and bring them back, but only incapacitate it. You'll actually get a cool effect for this as well. So, really cool things. This can actually be stored on your backhand side, where you can also place 2 different grenades of your choice. So you can just slide that in and hold it right back there. So now Krig is technically fully armed. The last thing I want to talk about is there's a holster on your back for your Proton cannon. This can rotate around whichever way you want, right? And then you can just slide that on. And now you have options. Now you're technically fully armed and ready. Let's change the focus up. There we go. And now we're looking pretty cool. I really like how this guy came out. This is really dope. So I think we've covered just about everything with the exception of our poncho. So with that, I'm actually going to take the Proton cannon back off. And we're going to talk about our poncho. So we're going to put the integrated unit head back on because I want to make sure it's cool with that on. Oh, got it upside down. There we go. Stand him up so we can get a good look at what he looks like with his poncho on. So I'm going to back him up just a little bit. So this poncho is actually really nice. Krig 13, the Black Spartan's poncho, has the number 13, designating his number. You know, because he's about that life. Spartan life. And it's actually wired in all the outlet parts here. So I'm going to show it flowing so we can get a nice groove and look at that. We're going to match up the Velcro parts here. Tilt our head up just a little. And as you can see here, I already technically started getting it flowing. But let's show you guys what we got going on. Technically make this all whooshy, like it's flowing in the wind. The same thing will be on the backhand side. We can make it all whooshy. And I really like how this looks because when you do a really nice walking pose with this guy, it's going to look really, really good. Now this looks dope. I know it doesn't look like much here, but when you take some cool photos, you guys are really going to enjoy Krig for real. If you like this kind of future warrior sci-fi stuff, this is definitely going to be something you very much enjoy. He has the nice bits of articulation, the originality, and most of all, cool sci-fi weapons, which I always think is a plus. So yeah, this guy is really, really nice. Ooh, let's try to get some balancing here. I want to do some cool walk pose, like my main man just. Yep, let's get that ankle going. So yeah, it's a little uneven because I tried to balance him on one foot, but yeah, you get the idea. Without much being said, what we are going to do is we're going to jump into size comparisons. So I'm going to take his poncho off, and I'm going to take a second to get set up as we compare sizes. So let's get to it. Alright, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. This is the last part, so let's back it on up just a little bit, change the focus up, and start comparing. First things first, I guess I actually compare to a few Mezcos. I think a good choice here would be Mezco's Baron Benz. And I think Baron Benz is a great person to choose. We got something completely different out of him as well too, so it's really nice. Next up, we're gonna compare to the Mezco cosplay me. This is on a Street Gomez body. So yeah, as you can see, the different body types and different heights actually get you a lot of different feels for these guys, and that's actually what's pretty cool about this. So there's that. Let's remove these guys and let's move on to the next bit. First, let's do an articulated icons ninja, and then we're going to do a Marvel Legends Black Panther. Then even as I get these guys standing up, you can see that the Mezco stuff just looks and feels different than the others. A little bit more wider, a little bit more different type of design. So let's move these guys. Next up, we have a 1000 Toys Synthetic Human, the Knights of the Slights version. Then we have an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Kuga. And these guys are going to be the smallest amongst the stuff compared to, and as you can see, Mezco has a big size over these guys. Next up, we have, here we have Mythic Legions. This is a Kid Bash character I made. So here is a Mythic Legion. And these guys are going to be one of the bigger ones, as well as the McFarlane that I'll compare it to next. So then we have the McFarlane The Witcher. And as you can see, he doesn't really stand well yet. I haven't heated him up. But as you can see, these guys are on the bigger side, whereas compared to the Mezco stuff is normally much larger. So as you can see that. Overall, I have really enjoyed this. I hope that you guys have truly enjoyed this video. I'm trying out the new format and a new mic, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Special thanks to Mezco for allowing me to review this early for you guys. And as always, guys, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.